But the Right Honourable Speaker clarified that one. On those, he wanted confirmation of termination. I can produce it. But they were terminated because administratively we had to take action. Once a complaint is raised, even without concrete evidence, I think it's best that somebody stands aside, even as investigations go on. Registration of children in primary schools, their names were issued, but most cards are not collected. We have a heap of cards, and I think we shall update the public on this subject, and also the subject of helping students who made errors. This is for Honorable Christine. Last, I want to answer Honorable Amera. I never clarified. Citizenship never expires, and evidence of citizenship is the NIN. Even with the tenure for the ID, the citizenship of a person doesn't expire. I want to thank you, Right Honourable Members.
Honourable Kapulindi has some clarification.
Honourable Sewung also, ma'am, with your permission, wanted to ask.
Yeah, thanks very much, Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Minister. Arising out of his question that how do you tell that the error was made by the staff or the applicant? I escorted one friend to Nila, claiming that they had made a mistake so that he could not pay the 200. They went into their data and proved that it was him who had made a mistake. So they have those features that they capture.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, the question is, how do you determine whether the error was made by the NIRA staff or by the person who filled the forms? Because if it was made by the NIRA staff, why are you making them to pay the money?
Right Honourable Speaker, it depends on the nature of the error. Sometimes it's apparent on the record, on the surface.
It could be a typo error. Masabo.
Those ones most likely are by NIRA staff, Right Honourable Speaker.
So that's what you were saying, that the person was still made to pay the money. Anyway.
That was unfortunate for...
It is an agreed position. It is a position of government that registration is for free. Where there is an error that is made, a district or wherever the registration is taking place cannot be able to correct the errors. All the errors will be corrected at headquarters, and because they are the only ones who have the access rights for them to be able to correct those errors. And then there is a toll-free...
NIRA began the mass enrollment and renewal exercise on 27th May. It was on 27th May 2025, and as of 4th August, we have received 8,254,778 applications for renewal, 834,020 applications for first-time registrations, and 33,160 applications for Get First ID for children who are now of age to receive their identity cards. This together is a total of 9,121,948 applications. Production and issuance is also underway. That said, Right Honourable Speaker and members, NIRA has noted with concern the increasing complaints on extortion, corruption and bribery at service centres perpetuated by imposters, NIRA registration assistants and other cadre. The Vice has taken the following common forms. 1, selling forms. 2, paying to skip the queue. 3, extorting at different stages of the application process by different players. NIRA has taken the following steps to address this menace. 1, arresting and reprimanding the perpetrators and invoking disciplinary procedures, and below is a list of persons so far reprimanded. In Mubende District, serial number 1, we have Tulibamu, a temporary assistant, registration assistant. Action taken against him. He was arrested. He's out on bond and is terminated. Can I proceed and finish, and then you can answer your questions?
Who is in the answered? General, continue.
Thank you, honorable members, for that observation. I was at the action taken, starting with Mubende district. Some staff of NIRA have been arrested, starting with one called Tulibamu, a temporary registration assistant, arrested out on bond and his services terminated. 2, Sempebwa, another temporary registration assistant, arrested out on bond and terminated. The third one, Naruiso, temporary registration assistant, arrested out on bond and terminated. Nuwaine, temporary registration assistant, arrested out on bond, terminated. District Mitiana Lutaisire, temporary registration assistant, arrested out on bond and terminated. Wakiso Epalat, temporary registration assistant, suspended and later terminated. Mukono Wamala, temporary registration assistant, suspended then terminated. Headquarters here at Kololo, Kasasira, temporary registration assistant, arrested, escaped from detention and terminated. Vusia Ojambo, information technology officer, arrested, taken to court and out on bond and on interdiction. Aleptong Hateu,
Out of bond, out of bail.
Ma'am?
Taken to court, out of bail.
Out on bond. I will explain later, ma'am, why they are on bond, because people, the complainants, don't come back to give evidence for prosecution to take place, but I'll explain later.
No. What I am saying, if it is you're out of court, they give you a bail from court. Is it out of police bond?
Bond, ma'am.
Okay.
Aleptong Hateu, office assistant, arrested. That one was taken to court and is on bail, not on bond, and is on interdiction. Chakua Nzi Chankwanzi Nabuguzi, information technology officer, arrested, taken to court, remanded, and also interdicted. Chotera, a number of them have been arrested, 4, bonded, investigations continue. This is Nantongo, Samula, Chiseka, Ayesga. One of them, Chiseka, is a businesswoman. She's not NIRA staff. And then Abim Mwanje, information technology officer, under disciplinary process. We are strengthening internal and external communication across all media platforms, emphasizing free registration and encouraging people to report corruption and advising all persons to desist from corruption. 3, providing forms being sold free of charge. On the how to get the form is included in the report, https://nira.go.ug. Some of these forms are the ones being sold, yet they are available free of charge online. 4, providing an online service that does not require one to have a physical form, also on https://preg.ncis.nira.go.ug/pre-registration, and that one is also available online. 5, sharing with the public a hotline for reporting corruption, and this is number 0776 501 071. And also sharing an email address to assist victims detail the issues they have faced during the exercise. To date, we have received 30 complaints via this email address. Number 7, distributing uniforms with identity tags across the country to ease identification of bona fide NIRA staff. Some challenges have been encountered, and these include the following. Clients not willing to disclose the full details of extorting staff and accompanying evidence. This makes cases difficult to prosecute. For example, in Kasanda, The RDC was informed by the complainants about people extorting. He caused the arrest of 2 NIRA staff and 2 non-staff. They were arrested, taken to Kasanda police station for 1 week, but no one reported to make a statement and lodge a formal complaint. They were released on bond, awaiting the complainants coming forward. 2, brokers and middlemen masquerading as NIRA staff to extort from the public. 3, partners supporting the exercise over whom the authority has no control, including local council chairpersons and others soliciting for bribes under the pretext of being NIRA staff. Oftentimes, these act as brokers. Number 4, the literacy levels of some of the clients who are unable to read and write and therefore seek services from middlemen. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and members, this is to reiterate that the process of enrollment and or renewal of national IDs is free of charge. We call upon the public to be vigilant and to be bold to report whoever is trying to extort from them. Together, we can get the culprits. I beg to submit.
Thank you so much, honorable members. You've heard there's a toll-free number that has been given to the public for them to be able to report these cases. And we also need to encourage our members, the population, that in case there's anybody who is extorting money, we should be able to report for them to be handled legally. And then maybe to the public outside there, registration is free of charge. Yes, Honorable Baka, Honorable Baka Bulindi. Honorable Baka Bulindi.
Thanks very much, Right Honourable Speaker. And I would like to thank the Minister for this information you have given us. It's mostly about the culprits who have been mismanaging the exercise. But our concern is the speed. Even the new one, the younger people whom we have taken there, we have taken more than 3 months, 4 months, no answer. Leave apart hours which we were for renewing, that one we don't know when we shall ever get our national ID. But how about the new entrants? If we could comment about the speed so that we get hope. You can say for somebody who is being introduced who has gone to Kololo, it will take about, say, 2 months, and somebody will wait for 2 months. But now we don't know when. You just stay without knowing. I wish the minister could help us on that.
Thank you. Honourable Minister, you will also tell us, for those who registered at the beginning, when do they receive their IDs? Yes, Honourable Okot.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I would like to thank the Minister for the report. Right Honourable Speaker, I also want to bring to the Minister's attention that the drop or the slow pace of renewal of national IDs is not necessarily as a result of extortion. I will give an example in my area and our district as Omoro. Most people are not turning up for renewal of their national IDs because they have deposited their national IDs with money lenders. Because if you are to come for renewal, you need to come with your national ID, the expired one. So most people are not doing that because they have deposited their national IDs with money lenders. So I think the ministry needs to do something. The president was very categorically clear that no national ID, no money lender should accept national IDs as collateral.
Actually, that is outside the scope of what we asked the minister to present. Because if you've deposited your ID with a money lender, what do you want a minister to do?
Yeah, but Right Honourable Speaker, it's also important to note that that is also slowing the pace of renewal of national IDs.
Yes, naturally. Naturally, then we come to Atiang.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. And I also want to thank the Minister for giving us that report. Madam Speaker, coming from the islands, allow me to speak about the islands in regard to the national ID renewal. Most of our people have not accessed this because of, I think, the distance between the islands. And when it comes to extortion, Madam, excuse me. When it comes to extortion, this one in our islands comes in a way that people have to travel from one island to get to where these kids are. And they're asked to give in some money. They say, if we cannot access you, give us money such that we can get to where you are. So they say the office has not given them enough money to travel from their office to go to where the people are.
From one island to the
Yes.
other island.
And
So,
some,
Minister, you need to make sure that these people reach to the local person down there.
thank you so much, Madam
Thank
Speaker.
you. There's information from Lucy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Let's first hear from
The issue-
Lucy, then you come.
Yes, the issue of distance is a big problem, Madam Speaker. Over the weekend, I was in a place called Okidi in Atiak sub-county. I got a request from the community that I should help them hire a generator so that the officers from NIRA can go closer to the people and register, especially the older people. When I accepted, they said, no, it is not only for old people, even us, the distance is very, very, very big for us. So this is a very big challenge, not just for the islanders, but also for those of us who represent rural districts where there's no electricity and the distances are really, really big. So, Minister, you should really consider this because there's poor facilitation to these people.
Thank you. Stella?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the Minister for the information and the guidance given to the public. Honorable Minister, initially, many people erred while entering their names for IDs. They add third names, which are not actually in coordination with their formal documents now. So there are many people who are making corrections of their IDs. And when they are making corrections, the district's offices, registration offices, NIRA offices, are not able to do that. These are people who are sent to Kampala, to the main office in Kampala to do the correction of their names. And yet you find many of these people are not able to afford even transport to come up to here. And for those ones who still afford, because of extortion, they are not given quick services. Mine is also related to the first person who actually talked about the timing. How long should one take to access an ID? Maybe after registration for application for an ID, or maybe after application for correction of names. I have a teacher who has toiled for over 1 year. He actually applied, he went through all the process and applied for correction of his names. From June last year up to date, he hasn't found his ID just because of ping-pong. And he comes, they tell him to wait, come next month, wait, come next month, up to date.
Thank you.
Unless we become specific with the timing when one should access an ID, then things will be well. Thank you.
Thank you, Grania. Honorable Ibanda.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I also want to join the other members to appreciate the Honorable Minister for the report. But Right Honorable Speaker, in his report, he said they are dealing with the NIRA staff in as far as handling extortion is concerned. But Right Honorable Speaker, in Mubende district, a number of people, it is like a chain of people who are extorting money from the people who come for registration. I'm glad he mentioned some of the officials from Mubende that were arrested over the same, but we need to go beyond the NIRA staff. Right Honorable Speaker, the other case is about hard to reach areas. For example, we have a sub-county called Utologu.
Honorable Grania.
Yes, right.
You're talking
Honorable.
about dealing beyond the NIRA staff. That's why the minister is saying some people don't want to give information. You see, there was a business person arrested, there was a medic who was arrested. So you need to encourage your people to give information on who is doing what.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, whenever, good enough, I was in touch with my people, in close touch actually. I was on the ground at the time when this process started, and I could actually interact with them and find out what the challenges are. But most of the times I would direct them to see the PSOs, the GSOs, and so on. But whenever I would talk about that category of group, Right Honorable Speaker, the people would actually get more angry because they say they are like some of those people are the ones who do the extortion when it comes to registration, because they have to give them letters maybe to take to the nearer offices, and some of them actually might disguise themselves or misidentify themselves to be in those offices. So, Honorable Minister, a strict measure should be made to ensure that the people who work in those offices also do the needful. Right Honorable Speaker, just a minute about the hard to reach areas like Butologo. There are areas where people do not have access to electricity, and these people also have to be registered. We need to know from the Honorable Minister whether the budget we give to NERA to do that registration does not cater for the generators and the fuel, like Honorable Lucy has mentioned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Remlicha.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. I want to thank the Honorable Minister for your response or report. The Honorable Minister, I come from Ntoroko, which borders the DRC. And in this exercise of renewal, the Right Honorable Speaker, we've had a challenge where people have been tossed here and there because people got national IDs. These are Ugandans with national IDs. But when they go for renewal, they keep disturbing them. Go back to Giso, go back to Diso, whereas these people had national IDs and the Ugandans. And I don't know, the Right Honorable Speaker, how these people should be disturbed and tossed here and there. Go to Diso, go to the RDC, go to PISO, whereas these people go to national IDs. For instance, if people have come for the first time, those people should be vetted. But people who have had national IDs are being disturbed. I don't know, the Honorable Minister, what are going to do in case of Ntoroko? We've gotten people who have been disturbed, and they have failed to renew their national IDs because of those technicalities of some of their staff members. I want to thank the Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Olympian. Honorable Achon.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I would want to comment on the beautiful report Honorable Minister made. My question, Honorable Minister, or the clarification. Yesterday I went to renew my ID at Kololo because my ID is going to expire in 2031. And I was sent back that I do not need to renew. I bet it's the same thing is happening to all Ugandans. Do we have to renew when it's still valid or not? Because this is one thing which we would like to know. I think the whole country, they're willing to know. Thank you.
Wonders.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I really want to appreciate the Minister for the report given to us. But my concern, Madam Speaker, the reason as to why a number of our people are being exhorted in dubious deals. Madam Speaker, we still have some places in our country that do not have clear networks. I don't know whether the Ministry of Internal Affairs has tried to find out that from the ICT Ministry. The case in point, I have a sub-county in my constituency called Bukiende. It doesn't have even a single mast. So whenever these workers are dispatched to Gandhi, register people in that area, they take time. Whoever goes there, they cannot be captured because of the network challenge. So I want to hear that from Minister of Internal Affairs,
Okay.
whether he has taken cognizance of that.
Okay, Peter.
Thank you, right, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, I want to thank you for the statement. But as people who come from the islands, I want you to really help us because, like my colleague from Kalangala stated, that moving from one island to another, for example, moving from Lolwe Sub-County headquarters to Hama, Siro, or Wayasi, these people need fuel, but they are not facilitated. That one is a serious issue. Secondly, a case of Namaingo. You find that these people, you have stated in the statement that they have uniforms they wear to identify them. I have not seen any. Was it in isolated places or it is countrywide? And then finally, I would like to know from you, Minister, about Ojambo who was arrested in Busia, and you stated that he's on bail. In fact, Ojambo's case was a serious case, and I wanted to know and you to tell the country that what was the cause of arrest of Ojambo, and then what steps have been taken, because people were there, they gave their statements, and to date, it has not been handled. Thank you.
Buhesh.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the Minister, and particularly for having the details of the culprits so far apprehended and the action is taken, and we hope that the case will be prosecuted to a good end. Right Honorable Speaker, I take particular concern about people failing to follow up their cases to give more evidence to the police. In my area, we have suffered many more cases, even murders, defilement, rape, where people fail to follow up because of the lukewarm trust they have in some police officers. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, another important aspect about the IDs is you find people there were errors done by NIRA people in recording some people's age. Right Honorable Speaker, for example, I have got a cousin sister who is now 86 years. She has got a daughter who is 57, and the 57 girl or daughter has got an identity card. But my elder sister, who is 86, has got an identity card reading 35 years of age. And when you go to, I have taken many people to the district headquarters at the NERA offices, and they tell us they don't have that package or that app in their computers to rectify the error. So they tell us to wait for infinity. So what does the minister say about that one? Very aged people, and the problem, Right Honorable Speaker, we as MPs, being ATMs of some communities, people who have missed on the money for SAGE, they say, you pay us that money. Because we qualified to be 80 years, we're not getting the money, so can you compensate us? Because those people have got 40 identity cards. What is the remedy for that?
Thank you. Can we first have that answered, responded to? Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, can we first have that responded to?
Right Honorable Speaker, I'll start with the one of Honorable Viraro. Errors, and I think there's another honorable member who raised the same. Errors, especially by NERA staff, and especially now to do with old people. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to go back and work on this and report to you, in particular, Honorable Viraro. I would want further and better particulars of the case so that we follow through. Because if it is NERA staff, then it's up to us to correct the error. But if it's an error by the person, the client, who made the error while registering, that's why I think there's even a charge, because you made an error, and it's up to you to rectify it, but you need to go to the headquarters. Unfortunately, we don't do correction at the district centers in this exercise. And then the islands people, fuel, logistics are all provided. This parliament provided money for this exercise. So there's no excuse at all while islands or other hard-to-reach areas are not accessed. The Honorable from Busia talked about uniform. I said uniforms are not there now, but because we need to identify people, that's why we are going to issue uniforms to NERA staff with tags for ease of identification of those who extort from the public. Ojambo's case, he's on bail, but he's also interdicted. But we don't have the case fully dealt with. He was taken to court and released on bail. He was charged and released on bail. That's what I can say about Ojambo. Places without internet, distances, I think we need to make a clarification of the whole process this far, because you've raised a number of things. Some of them we can rectify immediately, but some, like those places without internet, we need to get stopgap measures, but share the same with the public on what alternatives we have for places without internet, and especially for old people who can't move up and down. Then the Honorable Achon, your ID is still valid, yes, up to 2031, but since the new ID has more features, enhanced features, including the iris, you still can apply to change. There's that provision.
Is it can or you should?
You may, Right Honorable, but if you want to remain with your valid ID until it expires, you can do so. But if you choose to change to the new one, you are allowed. I don't know why they pushed you away. Honorable Achon, I'll assist you to have your features taken for the new ID. And yes.
Honourable Minister, Madam Speaker, we had an opportunity of taking these IDs, all the data from here. But could the Minister explain to this House what's the timeline of releasing and issuing out these national IDs? Because by the time you came here, you had promised 2 weeks. Now they are over a month.
He's going to respond to that. He's responding point by point. He has not reached there.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for being very good.
There's another clarification.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Oh.
Right Honourable Speaker, the clarification I would like to ask is in regard to the expiry of the national IDs. Right Honourable Speaker, I am a Ugandan. And when you give me expiry of a national ID, say for example 10 years, does it mean that you have only given me 10 years to be a Ugandan and so I might have to change or what? Because I am born here, I am from here, and I expect that at least the national ID should be open so that we don't bother people. And this exercise should not be optional for us to say that we are going to renew the IDs, and for those who have IDs that have expired. It should have been a national exercise for everybody, and we shift from where we have been to now the new system so that the IDs are uniform. Taxpayers' money should be used in the right way. Right Honourable Speaker, that's the clarification I would like to seek, whether after 10 years I will cease to be a Ugandan.
Thank you. One would also ask, why do you give expiry date for a passport?
Right Honourable Speaker, and the Honourable Amero in particular, 10 years, I explained earlier, this issue is universal practice. And the assumption is that in 10 years, your features change. But I understand, and that is the sentiment shared by many people. Even the cost of renewal is not affordable, I think, for the country. So maybe as we get more access to smartphones, as we get more access to the internet, we shall reach a day when we shall just scale up the features online. I agree, it's disturbing 10 years, every 10 years to spend all this money to renew, but there are some that in 10 years, features of a person change. In 10 years, the ID itself, the paper ID, degenerates. But we would want, hopefully, to go to the e-ID and even the e-passport when all the conditions are conducive. If I may, I want to go to the other questions and then I wind up. When Honorable Remuikia, people on the border tossed around, yet they have old IDs. We shall work on that one and sort it. The Honorable Nakaziwe, you don't need to pay money for these people to access you because money was given for the exercise, including generators and all those excuses that people have been making for not coming to the people to register them. Honorable Akelo Okibi, I think we shall review the exercise and the constraints this far and then make a general statement to the public, especially regarding hard to reach areas. Honorable Nachimuri, I think I answered that one. Honorable Court, money lenders have IDs. IDs are not collateral. We have talked about this, and it takes two people to make this mistake. The card holder, but also those money lenders. Both are culpable. So we want to, with the help of leaders like you, Honorable Court, if you know, some of our people I think are vulnerable because they don't have anything else to stake in order to get loans. That's unfortunate that they reach an extent of giving their IDs. But I think we need to take it together as leaders and get those IDs from the money lenders for them, for the people, to have them renewed during this exercise. If you can help with further and better particulars, so follow up, because it is illegal to hold somebody's ID as collateral for a loan. Speed of issuance of cards. Initially we had a hitch, but now card issuance is ongoing. We had a hitch because this exercise has been between USPC, which was given the contract for cards, and then another contractor for the software. The software was more advanced than the card aspect, but the card aspect is also catching up, and we have got cards, but there are protocols for filling the information from the software to the cards. That's why we got a delay, but so hopefully...
Honorable Minister, when you acquired the software, and couldn't you get to know that there's compatibility?
Compatibility is there, but the availability of the card, ma'am, was a little bit delayed. The money was paid, but we delayed to get the cards to be concurrent with the software. But we have corrected the anomaly, and card issuance will be faster. Hopefully, not beyond 2 months going forward. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and honourable members.
Thank you. Honourable members, you've heard the issue of the cards. Yes, Christian.
Yeah.
Christine.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. I want to appreciate the Minister for the report. Right Honourable, there's a statement that the Minister made and said that some staff were arrested and terminated. I expected him to have given a reason or a confirmation that before the termination of those officers, some confirmation was seen that they extorted the money. Because for purposes of the record, we needed that. Madam Speaker, in Kumi District, we have categories of children who have not got their names.
Honorable Christian, they were arrested, taken to police. Police did the investigation and found them culpable. By the time they find them culpable, that's when they are sanctioned to be taken to court. Some of them are on court bail, others are on police bond. And it is based on that report that an action was taken if you heard very well how the minister was explaining.
Much obliged, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable, we have a case of children who were registered that time in primary and now they're in secondary, but up to now they don't have their NIN numbers. May we get an update from the minister on the plan to have these children helped? And then we have also students who had problems with their names and dates of birth, and they applied to NIRA. That time they were supposed to get the current IDs that we are having, but they were not successful. Could we have information from the minister on the way the ministry is trying to see how to help that category of the students and other people who had mistakes in their IDs that they have at the moment? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. The clarification that I'm seeking from the Minister concerns the issue of people who had who made errors in their IDs. The Minister stated that there are cases where the errors were made by the staff, the NIRA staff, and there are errors that were made by the applicant. The clarification I'm seeking is, how are you able to determine which error was done by who, either the applicant or the NIRA? Because, for example, I have a relative, he's Masaba, but they spelled it as Masabo. Instead of A, they put an O in the name, but he was made or forced to pay that money in order to change these names. So I want to know how they're able to determine, because as far as I know, everyone who is trying to change any detail on their national ID is being forced or is being made to pay this money, which is quite huge.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Some unscrupulous people who change their dates of birth, especially civil servants, just because they don't want to retire. That's one deliberate mistake we note in the exercise of registration. And then there are people who, today they write their parents are A, then tomorrow they say they are B. Really, that one cannot be NIRA staff. So those are examples of the mistakes of the applicants. But for the names, that one I think it's most likely by NIRA staff, Honourable Member. So we shall correct that one. And then, yes, Honourable Wakabulin, just a minute, I wanted to, okay, Honourable.
Minister, you become a speaker. Can you finish what you're supposed to? Honourable
Thanks very
Wakabulin.
much, Right Honourable Speaker.
First wait. Let him first respond to what was asked, then you come in.
Honourable.
You just sit near here.
Honourable Christine talked about, but the Right Honourable Speaker clarified that one. On those, you wanted confirmation of termination. I can produce it. But they were terminated because administratively we had to take action. Once a complaint is raised, even without concrete evidence, I think it's best that somebody stands aside, even as investigations go on. Registration of children in primary schools, their names were issued, but most cards are not collected. We have a heap of cards, and I think we shall update the public on this subject, and also the subject of helping students who made errors. This is for Honourable Christine. Last, I want to answer Honourable Amera. I never clarified. Citizenship never expires, and evidence of citizenship is the NIN. Even with the tenure for the ID, the citizenship of a person doesn't expire. I want to thank you, Right Honourable Members.
Honourable Wakabulin has some clarification.
Honourable Serung also, ma'am, with your permission, wanted to ask.
Yeah, thanks very much, Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Minister. Arising out of his question that how do you tell that the error was made by the staff or the applicant? I escorted one friend to NILA, claiming that they had made a mistake so that he could not pay the 200. They went into their data and proved that it was him who had made a mistake. So they have those features that they capture.
Thank you. Honourable Minister, the question is, how did you determine whether the error was made by the NERA staff or by the person who filled the forms? Because if it was made by the NERA staff, why are you making them to pay the money?
Right Honorable Speaker, it depends on the nature of the error. Sometimes it's apparent on the record, on the surface.
Could be a typo error. Masabo.
Those ones most likely are by NERA staff, Right Honorable Speaker.
So that's what he was saying, that the person was still made to pay the money. Anyway.
That was unfortunate for...
It is an agreed position. It is a position of government that registration is for free. Where there is an error that is made, a district or wherever the registration is taking place cannot be able to correct the errors. All the errors will be corrected at headquarters, and because they are the only ones who have the access rights for them to be able to correct those errors. And then there is a toll-free number that should be used by the public to ensure that we have a corruption-free system where people are extorted, where they extort money from, and the public is urged to report any attempts of extortion by either NERA staff or those who claim to be agents of NERA or anybody else, and an action will be taken. Next.